All right, Shantala, good to see you this afternoon. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Election stress disorder, it's a term that's been thrown around. Is it real?
It definitely is a real emotion to feel anxiety during the election time. It's not a technically specific disorder as far as in the medical books, but it is very much an ongoing problem. Recently, the American Psychological Association was able to come up with the percentage of 68% of Americans dealing with extreme anxiety and stress as related to the elections. And that's also probably due to what's going on within our world with the pandemic and 4 years ago with the election during that time. So there definitely are a lot of people out there that are dealing with this and struggling with anxiety right now.
68%, that's a sizable number. Have you been hearing from people as well about them being stressed about the election, obviously without breaking any confidentiality?
Absolutely. Not just in my private practice, but in everyday life. It seems like everywhere you go, you'll see a little bit of a rolling of the eye or a slight comment or a big sigh. And you can tell that people are anxious, even when glancing at the news or bringing up what's coming within the next month. So definitely see it, not just in my private practice, but all over in day-to-day life.
What are the signs that we should be looking out for if I'm just feeling overstressed? What should I be really looking for?
Well, we're obviously going to experience some stress and anxiety because we care. But if we are experiencing high levels, especially of irritability, that's one of the main signs that, maybe there's something else going on. Also, a lack of intolerance of dealing with other people's viewpoint and maybe getting into more family arguments or arguments with peers, not being able to pull oneself away from social media, from news updates. If you're having any anxiety when it comes to checking the news, if you feel like a pit in your stomach when you're about to see, what some results are, what's going on, that's a sign that maybe you're focusing a little too much on this and you're losing a bit of control of your own emotions. So then it's time to step back and say, how can I deal with this better?
And it's quite possible that next week when we get the obviously next Tuesday, but then beyond, it may not be right away that we find out who the president is, because there may be just some legal challenges and whatnot. So this may go on for a while.
Exactly. So a lot of articles and professionals are saying, come up with a plan election day for after you do your voting, something that you can take your mind completely off it, whether you go out with a friend, if you're unable to go anywhere, do you want to take an online course if you have to be home, something to change your focus, because at this point you've done everything you can. Right. And as far as anxiety goes, it's important to feel a sense of empowerment. So if you want to volunteer, if you want to lobby Congress, if you want to do some of those things to really make a difference with what you believe in and for your political candidate, that is great. And then once you've done that, trying to let go because you've done all you can and refocusing yourself. So setting up a plan for that day. It's also important to set up a plan for, exactly where you want to vote, when you want to vote, how your day will go about, not just kind of rushing to the polls. People that have that anxiety, it's better to have some known factors because there are so many unknown with this election coming up. Having some control of your environment and your schedule is really important to help handle some of those anxious feelings during this time.
As always, good to see you. Licensed mental health counselor Shantala Boss, a frequent guest on the afternoon edition. Thanks again.
Thank you, Eric.